Just landed in Chiang Mai, Thailand. My one-way ticket, courtesy of United. Paid about $50 for it. See what happens. Alright, when I first landed in Thailand, it was in Chiang Mai, which is the largest city in northern Thailand. And I remember I landed there, and at that time I recognized this was the first time I had been abroad in quite a while. You know, minus the one time I took a day trip to Niagara Falls, Canada, which was a couple years ago in 2017. When I got to Chiang Mai, Thailand in March 2019, I have not been abroad in a good long while, like abroad. Last time I was actually going to a foreign country for any substantial amount of time, it was when I was going to Shanghai to be a exchange student, a study abroad student. And that was at that time about 3 years ago, and it was different this time. You know, when I was in Shanghai as an exchange student, I knew that I would be going alone as well, and I was only 20 years old at the time, which was a bit scary, just going to a foreign country all by myself. At the very least, I had a grasp of the local language, Mandarin Chinese. I've been studying it for maybe about 5 years by that time. Been studying Mandarin for about 5 years, and I knew that once I got from San Francisco to Chiang Mai, I would have a support network. You know, I was a student. I had paid a large fee, more than I wish I had paid for. But anyways, I paid a large fee, and part of it came with a support network in Shanghai, in the university, Shanghai University, where I studied. I would have people to help me out there in case I needed anything. In addition to that, I knew that back home, in my home university in Reno, Nevada, I would have people there that were there to help exchange students as well. So I had 2 support networks on 2 different continents. This time, on my trip to Thailand, after I had bid my farewells to mom and dad and packed up a bag, a 26-liter bag, and left. This time was different though, because I had lost that support network, and I was scared. You know, besides not having a support network, I also didn't have any definite plans to return home to San Francisco, back to the States, nor did I have plans on really a very clear-cut plan on what I was going to do long term. You know, I had thrown everything away. That was tough, and I had lost my job as well, and the job was a big one. I had just gotten my last retrospective in paycheck from my accounting gig in Reno, and I had left that. And I know older folks that have been at their careers for not even years, for decades. They've been building it, and suddenly they lose it. That's losing a large part of your life. But even for me, I've only been at it for specifically 14 months. It still felt like a large blow, just leaving it all behind. It was as if part of my identity, being an accountant, that was taken away. So yeah, I was scared. I didn't have a support network. I didn't speak language. I was in some foreign country. I lost my job, lost my income, and I didn't have any plans on what I was going to do. Well, didn't have any clear-cut plans on what I was going to do after that. Part of my response on being so scared was, I remember, I still had to eat. So ramen noodles, instant noodles became my staple food. I ate it practically every day. And my favorite restaurant was 7-Eleven. So I ate there a lot, still eat there a lot, but I remember I didn't buy anything, very luxurious or even, it didn't seem like a meal. I just thought the cheapest calories I could get, and which one of them was ramen noodles. So I ate ramen noodles. I remember that in Thailand, the ramen noodles in the 7-Elevens there, they cost exactly 13 baht, which is about 40 cents USD. And 13 baht, it gets you a cup. It's a cup and it's a portion size, so it's instantly ready for you to eat, which was necessary because I didn't have a kitchen. And without a kitchen, it's kind of hard to cook. So I didn't need to cook, I just had a cup of ramen noodles. And I remember one day when I was going to buy the same thing as usual. I normally just eat the same foods. I'm not very exciting with food. I was going to buy the same thing with food. Just going to buy that cup of ramen noodles. This time though, I just took a glance around and noticed that there was a packet form of the same ramen noodles, same calorie count. So it wasn't very practical in me buying it because it would be difficult to cook at home, at my hostel. But I devised a plan on how I could take this just a plastic little bag of ramen noodles, how I can cook it right then and there in the 7-Eleven. So I took the packet of ramen noodles. It cost 6 baht, so less than half the price. And I paid for it, and then I went to the beverage section of the 7-Eleven, and I took a couple of Pepsi cups, opened up the packet of ramen, stuffed it inside the Pepsi cup, and used the hot water there to cook it. And I had an old plastic fork with me so I could eat. And you need 2 cups because 1 cup is too hot, you can't hold it. So, problem solved. I saved 7 baht. Of course, I was too ashamed to eat it then and there inside 7-Eleven. So I walked some distance away from 7-Eleven, stopping and taking a few bites as I went. Eventually, I parked aside, like how I am now, parked to the side and ate on the side of the street. And that would be my meal, a meal. Besides that, I remember before I even got to any of the 7-Elevens, I got to Chiang Mai Airport. I was in the airport there, and after I cleared immigration, I didn't take a taxi to my hostel. That cost too much money. So I walked from the airport to my hostel. It was humid, even though it was at night. It was really humid. So I was sweating. I was wearing my down jacket. I was sweating like crazy. And I got to my hostel at 10 p.m. Saved a little bit more money there. Again, I didn't have an income, so this was survival mode. Saved money there, and once I got to my hostel, wasn't anything fancy, just a bed with 7 other people in that room. And as I dropped off my bag and laid in bed, I didn't really have much problem with jet lag. I was laying down, was running through my head was, I was saying to myself, what the hell are you doing? You had a good accounting job that recently, just a couple months ago, they had given you a bonus and a substantial raise. And the CEO of the company said that you're a valuable asset to the company. But you quit. You left that all behind. Why'd you do that? I was really confused as I was laying there the first night. And besides that, I was also expecting a call from, say, a person. This person was very close to me, helped me a lot during childhood. I was expecting some sort of message. I didn't have a phone number, so maybe an email or a Wi-Fi text. from this person. And the night passed, then the next day, then the next. A week passed. No message. And that is the heart of loneliness. It's when someone that you've been relying on in whatever capacity, whether it be in an emotional capacity, financial, physical, someone that's always been there to help you. And suddenly they're not there. It's as if you lost a limb, missing an arm or missing a leg. And it's not the easiest thing to recover from. Of course, there's things that are much more difficult. But suddenly just feels like suddenly something valuable in your life is just ripped away. It's a shock to a certain extent. And this person, it hasn't been the first time they have thrown away the watering of the relationship. Stuff that builds on a relationship. I remember even before my trip to Thailand, my journey around the world before this, the gifts I got this person, I put a lot of thought into. They'll be very negligent with it and eventually break it in some way or throw it away. I remember this person even got my name wrong, when I got those gifts. So the lesson to take away from that, when you have a person that does not, when you have a person that does not reciprocate the effort you put into the relationship, you gotta cut them out. Cut that person out of your life, no matter how hard, no matter how much it hurts. Just cut them out. You cut that person out so that you can make room for new people. And really that was the start of my long-term journey that I'm still in right now. Right now I'm in Cancun, Mexico. It's probably going to be several more years till this thing's finished. But Chiang Mai is where it all started. And Thailand, eventually I would spend a year there as an English teacher. Of course, it wasn't in Chiang Mai that I settled down in, it was in Bangkok. Of course, the adventures I had in Bangkok and all my experiences there, I'll leave that for the next series. Alright, this is the last entry in the Act to TEFL series where I talked about how I started out loving history and decided to go practical and be an accountant. Decided that accounting isn't what I wanted to do. I eventually made that bold move behind all the planning I did to make it out to Thailand to be an English teacher. And that's going to be the next series. Alright, Kingston out.